Okay, here's the surface array video. Okay, so first thing, I'll go and grab a just a 2D profile and bring that in. So there it is there. The good thing about this profile is that it's been set up to lap properly over the two ends. So the next thing we need to do is just double check our cover, which will drive our array to make it look correct. So this one's got a cover of 760. So we just have to remember that. Cool. Now next thing we do is just extrude it. Doesn't matter how long it is. Do a marginal one at 3 meters. But the critical thing is that we do need to flip it flat. So as long as it's flat, it's all good. Okay, so next thing, 3D tool set, and go for the extract tool, and we'll just want to extract the surface of that roof using the extract mode, and just we want to create a planar object. Just click OK, click the roof, click the tick. So that's going to be our array. So we pick the that polygon that we've got on our roof. We'll pick the object we want to array, and then we'll go to Model, Create Surface Array. This is a bit of trial and error when you get into this dialog, so I'm pretty sure that we need to do fixed distance up here. This was where we put our 760 figure, and we just want one repetition, because what it will do, it will stretch that object across the polygon that we've got. So we just want one repetition to see no horizontal joints. And we'll set the edge condition to trim, because we want it to trim to the shape of that polygon. Click OK. Okay, problem there is our object is around the wrong way, so we right click that and we go to Edit Array Items, and we just rotate that. There we go, perfect. The other thing that by default is usually left on is this display base surface, which will show the polygon that creates the area to be surfaced or arrayed. So yeah, usually just turn that one off. So that's the roof. The other thing you can do is you can actually turn that extrude that we made this that polyline into as a symbol. So I've got one here as a symbol, so just bring that in. Now the key thing with this is you want to convert it to a group, because if you leave it as a symbol, it won't actually stretch the extrude as a symbol to the shape of the polygon that you've extracted off your wall or roof. So we need to just go to Modify, Convert to Group. Yep, just turn that back into its base extrude. The other thing you can do too is you could actually class that extrude as well. So this is going to be a wall. I'll just go to my classes. I'll go to my walls. I've got a surface array class here set up for cladding, which has got a particular color, so we'll just make sure it's going to go by class. So cool. So that's handy to do that, so you can change the color of your surface array without having to go back into the actual array object, because it says if I click the roof, there's no if I change something here, it doesn't change the color of the actual array, so you'd have to go back into Edit Array Items, and I will just add a class to that array item. So we can go to my roof ones, go to the surface array one there, and do that. And if I go to 3D, yep, it's got that blue color, so that's all good. Go back to there, and yeah, there we go. It's taken the color of the class, so it's easier to change the color of your surface array if you class it first. Right, next thing we want to do is this wall here. So do the same thing again. Extract tool. Surface, click the surface of the wall. You notice that excludes the windows, which is great. Click the tick. So I'm going to do the same thing again. select them both, and I've got a right-click menu set up for my surface array. So click surface array. I'm just going to click the same thing again, see what happens. So it's not quite working too well. So we want number of repetitions that way for 1. And we want to change the number of repetitions on the Y mode to our 760. Okay, so that's backwards, or running sideways, so we don't want that. So get array items, we'll just rotate that one around as well. Oops, and yeah, we've got it all wrong again, so we'll do that by 760. That's the one, and we'll change that to number of repetitions to 1. And there we go. It's oops, looking perfect. So we just need to pull these windows out so they look right. So we want to offset them by 18mm, which is the thickness of that material. Yeah, cool. And that is the surface array. And yeah, it's just a case of modelling various flashings and other things over as you go. If you need to, if you say move one of these windows, so that window moves over here somewhere, and rather than redo the whole array, we can go back to edit base surface, and we can double click that so to get to our reshape mode. And if we it can get a little bit tricky trying to see where things end up with the, because it shows you all of the lines, so it's a little bit of trial and error at times. So that looks about right. Yeah, there we go. Accidentally pulled the window out of the wall there. Turn our roof layer off. There we go. So the reason I class these separately is so I can turn them off, because it does take a bit of horsepower to drive them at times, especially when you get that on a full model. So the ability to turn it on and off, and it doesn't look too pretty in elevations. Sometimes it shows a lot of lines, so you want to go back to your normal wall and your surface hatch just to replicate that in an elevation. But when you render it, it does look really cool. And for some reason Enscape's not working too well at the moment. It must be a driver issue, so I can't share what that looks like in Enscape. So yeah, any questions, just drop me a line. Cheers.